Hello everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Gunpla TV, and look who I have here with me today again.
Hi Todd.
Hello Scott, welcome back.
Thank you.
And
it's always fun to do these.
It is indeed fun. It's always fun to get a chance to talk about models and Gunpla. It's almost as fun as building.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Now obviously I should be watching the sheets about what's coming up sooner, but you know, I can't believe the F91 is getting love.
It is getting love. Yes. It is getting 2.0 love.
Oh, awesome.
So this just came in.
Yeah, very.
Just came in this week.
I don't want to say retro, but classic. We'll go with classic.
Right?
Classic Gundam F91.
And it's really a nice 1990s style design.
Yeah, yeah, and I like it. I mean, everybody's got their tastes and their preferences, but you know, for me, kind of the unicorn's kind of busy.
Yes,
you know,
it is
and
very
this
busy.
More of a. This is like the RX-78, but just kind of tweaked a bit. You know,
like
it's
a
like the
90s version of an RX-8.
So
like
yeah,
if
this
you
has
were
always been something I'd liked.
It is a great design, and I look forward to seeing this one built.
Yeah.
So we'll have this one built for you guys.
Is this scheduled for your workbench anytime soon?
This is scheduled for this week's workbench.
Really?
So we're going to put it together this week. Yeah, I was checking this out earlier, and I really like this gold-plated. Although it's not plated, I think it's just the gold plastic that they use. But
wow, yeah, it's hard to tell. This is some of the intakes or something, but they're like. Right? It's like a bronzy, coppery sort of thing that is shiny-ish.
Yeah, it's really shiny.
It's hard to tell if this is plated or if that's just the color of the actual plastic they use. That's really cool.
They've done like gold molded plastic before, but this has like a different sheen to it that just makes it a little bit more
Bandai is amazing at coming up with new technologies for this stuff, aren't they?
Like they're always trying new stuff too. Like we have that Fumina. Even though it's a figure, they have like where they're doing like the dual layers of plastic. So you have like a peach orangish layer of plastic underneath and like a more kind of opaque.
Oh, I haven't run into that yet.
Skin layer plastic. They had that at the hobby shop. So it looks really cool. I believe that's coming in next month too. So even though it's not really Gundam, we'll still be building that for you guys here on the show. So
when you talk about Bandai technology, okay, you know, I do build, you know, Gundam kits once in a while. Normally I'm more of a scale guy, airplane guy, and also with Bandai kits, I like to build a lot of the Star Wars stuff when I can.
Oh, yes.
But I did it.
Aha, that's right.
I finished my Tallgeese, and this is the first RG kit I've ever built. In the episode before we went to the hobby show, you know, we had the kit coming out, and I actually built it. And this is my first RG. This is amazing. This kit is like, you know, for people who've already built RG kits, this is probably old news. But this is my first experience with this level of quality. And the most important thing is that it's like you can pose it and it keeps the pose.
Yes.
All of the joints are exactly the right firmness so that, you know, when you decide, okay, I'm going to have him down on one knee firing his cannon here, you could actually do it. And it's great. And he doesn't then flop over and things don't fall off all the time. So everything's nice and firm. Compared to the original master grade kits 10, 15 years ago, oh my gosh, they've come so far. Right. Yeah, why don't we go over and take a better look at what's happening,
shall we?
Yeah. So here's the Tallgeese. I've got him down in this on one knee firing pose, which is, you know, always a very cool pose. And in the past with other kits, not just tall geeses, is that the plural?
What would the plural be of a Tallgeese?
You know, it's always been seemingly like impossible to get that because, you know, the knee joints won't go far enough to allow a pose like this. Or it's just, you know, it's not stable and it always flops over, or the gun sags down because it's too heavy, or the backpacks sag down because they're too heavy. And as you can see here, I've done absolutely nothing. Honest to goodness, there's no hidden tape or, you know, drops of CA glue to try to hold things in the proper position. I just pose this in a matter of seconds. And, you know, again, like I said, for people who have been building the RG kits, this may be absolutely nothing new at all, but for me, finally getting, you know, a kit that with just a very modest amount of posing would go exactly where you wanted it to and stay there is like, you know, that's the sort of the dream of these sorts of kits. I remember way back in the day, it's probably, you know, 10, 15 years ago, I built like the Zeta Gundam, the master grade that came out in the 1990s. And it was such a chore to transform and try to get it to keep any pose at all.
Transforming kits.
Oh my God, yeah, it was, I couldn't really make any kind of an interesting pose with it at all because it would just start flopping apart and break down into parts. But this is really a marvel of engineering compared to that. You can see it looks great. I've done no paint or finishing of any kind. It's just straight out of the box.
Okay.
And to me, it looks just wonderful. People with really sharp eyes may notice I haven't put on every last little sticker.
Right.
All of the major ones are on, you know, like on the shield here and at some of the locations on the chest. But there's another dozen or so of the little ones, you know, that you
all
put
those
on.
tiny marking stickers. Bandai goes really crazy with those marking stickers on the RG kits.
But the engineering of the inner frame to keep everything nice and firm, and all of the other parts too, is just remarkable. And I've seen this on master grade kits before too, but I just have to wonder what kind of a guy can design these things so effectively.
Oh gosh.
These, like for example, these jet pods, or the verniers as they call them on the back here, each of these verniers has about 20 parts per.
Wow.
Okay, and everything, you know, opens up and moves. You've got the nozzles and the, you know, all of the jetpack business here, so you can really display them like in full thrust version, or a furubanya, or whatever they call it. Yeah. And of course you can position them in any position you want. We have these neat, you know, double jointed arms that they mount on, so you can position these packs anywhere you want related to the actual robot. It's just, yeah,
That is
just
really great
amazing.
detail on the inside of those verniers.
Yeah, and if you really wanted to go nuts, you know, with like maybe painting some of these bits inside, you know, silver or something like that, you could really sort of, you know, mecha it up, so to speak. It does come with stickers for some of the interior. There's a little bit right here, some silvery stickers that you put on there and stuff.
Stickers that mostly you'll never see again, kind of.
Yeah, unless you open it up like this, of course, but yeah, it was just a lot of fun to put together. Like I said, it was about 6 hours, I think, I've got invested in this for assembly and stickering it up. But yeah, this is definitely, for me, the definitive version of the Tallgeese. I've got the master grade kit as well, but even it doesn't, you know, hold a pose as well as this guy does. So definitely the pride of my Gundam Wing collection at this point.
Okay, actually, that was a question I was going to ask you, is how would you rate it compared to the other ones you built? So,
by easily the best.
Wow, okay.
Easily the best Tallgeese there is, without question.
Even though it is in smaller 1/144 scale, it's got great details on it.
Now, I haven't put them out here, but he also has like a couple of beam sabers with the light in 2 different colors. You got like pink ones and clear ones, but I went with you know, the gun. And you can also position the hands, because it comes with several different types of hands, of course.
Okay.
And you can position, you know, it's got open hands and closed hands, and then he's got a hand for gripping the shield as well on the inside if you want to, although I chose to mount it on the shoulder bit there.
Yeah, that seems really stable, that shoulder connection that he has.
Oh yeah,
for the
they're
shield.
they're nice and tight, so you can move the positioning of the shield really any way you want. It's really like an amazing, what is it? It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 points of movement on this arm, so
that's
you can
a lot
really,
of articulation for that shield.
Yeah, you can do it any way you want. So.
I like that support they have on there for the gun too, because sometimes when you get those guns in the hands, it'll just kind of flop over. But
yeah, because
with that
the weight of the gun,
shoulder support there, it really holds it, and you can get a great pose using that support on the arm.
You know, this bit right here, which allows you to pose the arm and the gun pretty much anywhere you want. So. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. It's a great kit. Absolutely a marvel of modern plastic engineering.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
Wow, that looks like a great kit. I didn't get a chance to build that one myself yet, but I really think I want to.
Yeah, it took me about 6 hours. Okay. I would say, and that would include maybe at least an hour of those little stickers.
The stickers, right? Yeah, the stickers can take quite some time.
Yeah, I was watching TV while I was doing that. It doesn't require your full attention, but when you're building it, I couldn't. You got to really pay attention because some of the parts are so small. But again, the engineering is just absolutely mind-blowing to me on these kits.
They are fantastic. And since you built that Tallgeese, we had another kit that came in while we were away at the hobby show.
That's right.
And that is the HG Leo. So I was actually really looking forward to this one coming in. So this is kind of more just the grunt suit from the Wing series.
Yeah.
Now, Bandai has actually done a Leo kit before, but if my memory serves me right, that was called the Limited Model Series, and that was these weird flat paper boxes, and those kits weren't very great. So now we actually have a Leo in HG series.
Yay.
And I have gone ahead and built that for us here. So let's take a quick look, shall we, at the Leo and see how it stacks up. Alright, so since Scott built that Tallgeese and we just got the Leo, so it's perfect to have the set of them, and I've gone ahead and built this Leo for you here. And wow, I gotta tell you guys, this was, although it's not quite as detailed as an RG kit, even though this is only, it's like less than 1,000 yen kit, it still looks pretty great, I think.
It's less than 1,000 yen?
Less than 1,000 yen for this.
Okay.
And one thing that I really loved about this kit, there's no stickers.
No stickers.
No
okay,
stickers.
So this is what, a couple hours or so, or how long did it take you?
You know, this thing, that is one other thing I really wanted to mention about this kit. They kind of engineered this kit to make it really easy to put together. The legs basically are the same, like from side to side, so you're just building 2 of these. So everything, like the arms are the same, identical on the side, so it would be really easy to identify and tell which parts you are doing. Now, one other thing they did with this kit that is kind of new that I haven't seen before, let me show you guys the manual here. So on the runners, they've kind of laid out the parts in like a logical fashion. So you don't have to like think like, oh gosh, where is this part going to be?
Yeah.
Where is this part going to be?
When I was doing the Tallgeese even, sometimes it's like just you're assembling a single, you know, part of the arms or something, and you have to pull parts from like 4 different runners. Right. Just to get to that one thing,
They do that. Yeah, on the RG you'll see that a lot. HG kits too, you'll see that a lot. But I think maybe because they figured they want to make this kit really easy to put together, or they want to use this, like maybe get people to buy a lot of these kits and like assemble them as make their own army. So they wanted to make this kit easy to build. So you see here on the bottom, like it even points out, like the leg pieces are all in this area on this runner, and they're all in this area on this runner. So you'll know where you need to go to find all of these parts.
That's clever.
That is clever. You know, I don't remember seeing this before, so I really wanted to point that out for all of the viewers out there. It only took me maybe about 2 hours altogether or so. For this kit, there actually wasn't a whole lot, even though it is an HG kit, there's not a lot of polycap parts. And there is technically only one style of polycap joint that you're going to have on this kit, and that is this ball. This polycap ball. So
polyballs.
The polyballs. So they're actually in this kit, I believe there was like a runner with 6 polyballs, but other than that, there is no polycaps. The shoulder joints, this usually would be a polycap piece on regular HG kits, but this is actually molded in that kind of a softer style plastic that Bandai has been using for a lot of their kits recently. Yeah, you might have seen this on the RG kit as well, I guess, when you were building it. So they're kind of moving away from polycaps on a lot of kits, I've noticed.
How much motion we have like in the knees?
All right, this is a good point to mention too.
Oh,
the knees
are
double jointed.
Oh, okay,
now there was one really cool thing about the knee. Let me see if I can pull this off so that we can show that, although it is jointed. This is 2 pieces of plastic sandwiched together just to make this one. This one joint. So it was a really simple knee joint that they have here. It's kind of a new idea that Bandai has come up with, and we see in this kit for the first time.
I like looking at the Leo. You know, you can see how it's it's the grunt of the Tallgeese's universe, because you can see so many design commonalities. The shape of the sides of the head, these the whatever these are called, these little gray round guys up on the shoulder, the handle under the chest. The basic design of the feet and everything are almost identical between the 2 kits, although one is clearly the guy who's going to take the brunt of the punishment when they're out there on the battlefield.
He's like the leader of the unit. I believe in the anime, if my memory serves me correct, the Tallgeese was actually based on the Leo, just like a super version.
Super version of it for the super bad guy to fly around.
So yeah, you got a lot of commonality between the 2 mobile suits.
Yeah, but they call these in Japanese. This is the Zako teki. Zako in Japanese means like literally miscellaneous fish, but it's kind of like the small fry or the small fish, or just the quickly disposable bad guys that you use to show the good guy in all his glory or whatever. And this is of course the the main threat to our heroes. But
the main threat is really cool. And the shields too. How do the shields stack up next to each other? Whoa! I'm looking
very similar design.
Very similar design there.
The four prong thing going there. So yeah.
Now, one thing to mention with the shield on this kit as well. So if you don't want to display this with the shield, you can actually pop this off really easily.
Oh, okay.
And they have here another shoulder unit. On the shoulder, there's just these little ball connections here. Little, what would you call that? little holes, I guess, and you can pop in this shoulder too. So you have an option if you don't want to have that shield on the shoulder there.
Okay.
Then you can just have a normal shield as well. Now his gun, I thought one thing that I liked about his gun was sometimes on the HG kits you'll get the weapons. It kind of feels like Bandai gets a little bit lazy towards the end of development on the weapons, and they'll just be like a really simple weapon, like two halves, like that you mesh together, just one color. But they've actually have the gun here, and it has different shades of gray on it. So that is always welcome to see when you get weapons that have multiple colors on there.
I love when I've got more time. If you just take, you know, a paintbrush and just put a tiny amount of silver paint, and then brush it all off, except for a tiny amount, and then do dry brushing over the surface of these kinds of weapons. You can get silver highlights on the edges and stuff that make it look like it's just a little bit worn, and with a tiny amount of effort, you can really make like these steel colored weapons look fantastic. So if you got a couple minutes to experiment with some dry brushing, that's always one thing I love to do on these kits.
Right, just a little bit of work like that, you can really make the kit like just add like a little bit of extra details. It really makes the kit stand out.
Sure does, yeah.
That is perfect.
All
okay,
right. Great stuff. Thanks.
All right, so that's it for this week's look at a lot of, I guess you can call it our wing episode.
Yeah, definitely Gundam Wing this week.
Yeah, we definitely winged it this week.
Oh boy. There you go, Todd.
All right, so puns out of the way, let's go on to the comments. Do we have some comments?
Yeah, we do. We have a few comments came in. So let's see. On May 2nd, we received a comment from Psycho Yellow, who says, "So many guests. Isn't one of the Hobby Show episodes coming up soon?" Well, Psycho, go back to your browser and dig it up, because we definitely have recorded and posted the episodes from the Shizuoka Hobby Show, where I spent 4 days in the early part of May, from Thursday through Sunday, at the booth of our subsidiary, the Beaver Corporation, which imports plastic models into Japan and sells them. But I spent a lot of time on the floor of the show. A lot of great kits. Again, you can watch the videos.
Did you have any favorites from the show?
Oh yeah. For me, I got to admit, I'm an airplane guy. Right. I'm an airplane guy, and the new Tamiya F14D in 48 model. Scale. Yeah, that's the Top Gun plane. Right. And it's big. It's an F14. It's one of the coolest looking jets that's ever flown. And absolutely, someday I have to get that kit on my workbench. Now, I also had a soft spot for some of the new stuff that Bandai was doing as well. And I'm hoping to get to those at some point. But yeah, definitely the F14 would have been my most attractive offering at the show.
Right. So to me, it had the A model before. Now they're bringing out the D model. Yep. So depends on which one you want. The A model, you can do the Iranian Air Forces if you want, I believe.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do the big 1/48 scale, if you're into F14s and Tom Cruise or whatever, actually, aren't they coming out with a Top Gun 2?
I believe they are, and they're going to have like F-35s.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to go with F14s at this point, since they're no longer in service. But but if you're into the smaller scale F14s, Fine Molds has done a reissue of their F14A.
The A model,
in the ever popular VF-84 Jolly Rogers scheme and some other stuff too. So check out those if you want the more compact version as well.
Lots of F14s to choose from, although the older Hasegawa kits aren't terribly too bad either if you want to go that route. But
okay, going on to some more of the comments. Let's see, also on May 2nd, Andre de Barrio Perez. I think maybe we've heard from that gentleman before. He said, "I really like Scott's little story about Dr. Slump. I've never watched the series, but now I'll probably give it a try." Well, absolutely, go for it. Again, just to repeat very briefly, it's one of the shows that helped me learn Japanese. It was so silly and so fun to watch that it was just an inspiration to me to try to get my Japanese to a level where I could appreciate the show in the native language. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Couldn't encourage you more to find a reason to want to learn a foreign language. So thank you very much for that comment, Andres. And let's see, lastly, on May 3rd, 2018, let's see, Neon Wave asked us, "Speaking of the Tallgeese and Scott, Has he ever built the old 1/100th HG Tallgeese that came out either before or after the old HG 1/144th scale one? Yeah, that's the one that was like called the Tallgeese 3 kit or something, if I remember
think in
right.
the box it had parts to build the 1, 2, or 3.
Oh, really?
If my
Okay.
memory serves correct.
That one, no, I never actually got to. I never actually got to, but I've now, this is now my 3rd Tallgeese.
Right.
So I guess I need to complete my set. So I believe we still have inventory of that thing. So
well, gosh, yeah.
maybe
Bandai always comes out with more production of those older wing kits.
Right.
So
Gundam Wing, always very popular series.
Indeed,
so yeah,
it is, especially in America.
I would like to put that on my list of kits to be completed at some point. My bucket list, you know.
The bucket list.
Kits, so
after the F-14.
yeah, after the F-14 and the Tamiya 132 Corsair. I've always had a soft spot for Corsairs. That thing's been out for years. I have it, and it's still not built.
You have the birdcage or the D?
No, the D. The D.
Okay.
I wanted the D. Yeah. Sad, but I love Corsairs. I'm a huge Corsair fan.
And who knows, by that time maybe Tamiya will have some newer kits out as well. So the list is going to keep growing and growing. I know that feeling well.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you very much for reading the comments.
No
now,
problem.
we do have a new prize giveaway to do for this week as well. And our random number generator has chosen lucky number 76 as the winner. And that is Random King 0x70. Congratulations, Random King 0x70. You have won 2,000 yen HobbyLink Japan store credit.
Congratulations.
All right, your comment was, this was my first time watching Gunpla TV since December. And seeing Sid again was a very welcome surprise. Glad to see you again, Sid. Yes, we had Sid on last week. If you guys haven't watched that episode, be sure to go back and watch 273 to see the return.
My big question for him is, what have you been doing wrong since December that he wasn't watching? We gotta get him back on.
Oh, that's right.
Hopefully he'll catch up.
Hopefully he watched this episode since he won.
Yes.
So you gotta watch in order to find out that you do win. Maybe I should make that a requirement to have people win actually mail me first. All right, so if you guys would also like to win 2,000 yen HobbyLink Japan store credit, all you will need to do is go on to hobbylink.tv and find episode number 274 and post a comment. That's all you need to do. Couldn't be easier, and 2,000 yen goes a long way. You could buy like 2 Leos with that if you wanted to. So yes, be sure to comment and have your chance to win. All right, so I think that about wraps it up for this week.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for watching. All right, everybody, please remember that we are brought to you by HobbyLink Japan, so please remember to help support us, buy your kits from us, and you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and
Tumblr too.
Tumblr, I believe, as well. We're on all of the major social media platforms. All right, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again
next time.
next week.